Thank you so much. Dear friends and colleagues, dear professors, dear distinguished guests, dear students and graduates, I thank from the heart the Global Campus of Human Rights and the EMA Alumni Association for honoring me with this award. This belongs to all alumni members who are making an impact across the world, each in their unique way. So many of them, of course, would deserve much more than me to be here today. And thank you for giving me a voice and welcoming back here to Venice and this community that continues being home to me in so many ways. The EMA program influenced my life choices in a way I could never predict it when I graduated in this very beautiful hall 13 years ago. The master opened me the door to working in the humanitarian field, a work that became my life and changed my worldview and my way of being in this life forever. It led me to travel and be at the heart of communities impacted by conflict and be close to people who experience violations as means of torture, exploitation, political repression, and displacement. It led me to also see light and kindness in the midst of horror and understand how much resilience and strength exists in individuals and human communities, even when everything around is destroyed and seems lost. In IDP camps in Iraq or northern Nigeria, in isolated rural villages in eastern Congo or Colombia, in refugee camps in Greece and at other borders of Europe, I came to see how violence, including sexual and gender-based violence, is a brutal reality of war and displacement for countless women and girls, men and boys, whose lives are often shattered and whose trauma can impact several generations. Listening to survivors of violence, I learned how they often face immense barriers in naming their experience, to accessing care and to restoring their dignity and their rights. And this is particularly true in those contexts where basic life-saving services are scarce, where access to justice is weak or non-existent, and in those contexts where the very fact of having suffered from violence is ground for discrimination, stigma, additional denial of rights, and exposure to safety and security risks. Humanitarian programs can help local communities create safe spaces where people can simply be and exist, feeling safe, accessing care, and reconnecting with their strengths to gradually regain power over their lives. In my experience, these spaces took many forms. They were hospitals and clinics where organizations like Médecins Sans Frontières provides life-saving health and psychosocial services in the midst of conflicts and emergencies. Child-friendly spaces in schools run by organizations like COPI, where displaced children deprived of their education and of their childhood could resume studying, playing, and just being children. Women's support centers, such as those run by the Italian Dire network, where asylum-seeking and refugee women and girls who survive gender-based violence can be welcomed by other women, listened to, and start a journey towards their empowerment. In all of those contexts where peer groups and networks provide survivors a space to heal, have a voice, reclaim their lives, and influence policies and programs that impact them. Safe spaces are also search and rescue vessels in the Mediterranean Sea, where people fleeing atrocities and seeking protection are rescued from drowning at sea, and where they can feel safe until they reach a safe port. Working with refugees and asylum seekers in the European context has left a distinct mark in me as a humanitarian, but mostly as a European and Italian citizen. It led me to see human conditions I would have never wanted to witness, to hear life stories that kept me awake at night. Spending months on board of a boat called Dignity First, run by MSF between Italy and Libya, helped me give meaning to the expression being on the same boat, both literally and existentially, because we weren't just welcoming on board of our boat young men, small babies, pregnant women, elderly men, dead bodies. We didn't just witness how a small overcrowded rubber boat can disappear in the waters in a matter of seconds. We weren't just listening to how people who survived unspeakable abuse had lost their children, their sisters, their parents, in the desert, in Libya, or at sea. We weren't just holding people's hands and holding their babies in our arms at night so that their mothers could finally fall asleep on the deck of our boat. We were one with these people. Their sorrow became our own. Their uncertainties became our own. Their loved ones who did not make it became our own brothers and sisters who should have never died there and then. On that boat, more than anything anywhere else, I understood that we are human and remain human only as long as other humans too can live, and as long as their dignity as humans is rescued. We know this crisis is not over, that unjust policies and legal frameworks continue condemning people to suffer and die unnecessarily. This cannot be. This we cannot accept. We must continue condemning and demanding that our governments and the EU, the international community, live up to their responsibilities to honor human rights and human lives. Let our indignation and our compassion guide our work every day. Let's do it for our own survival too, because we know that until there is one person who is denied the right of seeking asylum or the right to be saved from the waves of the sea, we have no right to feel fully human because a part of our humanity is drowning with them. Let's not stop this fight, as the needs and gaps to fill are immense, and the root causes that perpetuate structural inequalities and denial of basic human rights are yet to be tackled. All of us and all stakeholders hold power and responsibilities in this respect. Thank you again for listening. This community here is for me my safe space and to share and be understood thanks to our common belief system and the engagement and the passion for the work we all do. I would like to conclude by thanking once more Adam, Gabriel, and my dear EMA alumni colleagues for their important work and for giving us an association to be and stand together, and all Global Campus professors and community for continuing inspiring generations of human rights professionals. And to the new graduates and the new students, I wish you a wonderful future. Studying human rights is a privilege and gives us a beautiful responsibility from which there is no return. May you embrace it with all your strength, and may you all find your own unique way and meaning in giving yourselves to the world. Thank you all very much.